everybody. God damn, we need some energy for this. AJ, tell us what we got.
Nothing's going to jack you up without the jitters like Dubby. If you get an opportunity, check out all of their merchandise. They got the coolest shakers. They've got so many different flavors, and it literally will keep you going all night long. It is Dubby. When you go to their site, put in fans working, and we're going to give you 10% off on any order that you put in. And then you could be as jacked up as me and the man they call Dave. Dave, speaking of being jacked up, what do you got for us this week?
10%, baby. Check it out. First things first. Let's get right out of the gate. Let's talk about 5 fights we want to see made in MMA. I kind of took mine a little all over the place.
Mine's very UFC centric, so.
Oh, me too. Yeah, okay.
First one I got, because this fight hasn't actually been announced yet. I'm excited. Yeah, Connor and Chandler. I really want to see that fight.
Me too.
I started watching Connor's documentary on Netflix. It starts right after the Floyd Mayweather thing, which is kind of where I started to dislike him. So it's nice to get a little bit behind the scenes. I'm only halfway through, but it's very well done. I don't know if it's going to make me a Connor fan again or anything like that, but it does make me remember the come up for Connor, which I did enjoy. So it also, you know, this is the only time I'm considering watching Tough. I'm pretty sure that it's, you know, starting up soon. It's going to be on ESPN, which hopefully means we'll be on ESPN Plus and I'll be able to watch it. But I got to see what's going on between those two.
Yeah, no. I agree with everything you just said. And I will just add on that just because I have this fight as well. I'll just piggyback off that. I'll just say that, and I feel the same way. Like, I've kind of, as a fan, started disliking Connor a little bit. And, you know, just over enough. Like, the Poirier loss, where he was insulting his wife. And it's like, one thing about Connor I liked in the come up was that if he did lose a fight, he always gave respect to his opponents afterwards. Like, there was this mental warfare beforehand, but if he got bested, he was like, okay, you got me. Where, like, immediately after this fight, he did not do that. And he went on defensive. And I thought, that's a chink in the armor right there.
You should watch the documentary that is addressed. So
okay, interesting. I will. I'm already interested in that. I'm glad we said that. And the only thing I just wanted to add on that was that I will say, not even as a Conor fan, but just as a fan of MMA and UFC, I'm very curious, and I want this fight to be made. And I do have my doubts that it's going to be made too. I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm feeling a little more secure now, but I want to be made because I also still want to see where Conor actually is at. Like, you know, like he's walked away now a little bit, some time off here. It's like, to me, this is make or break. Like, he's going to come back and he can put on a hell of a performance, or we're going to see someone who just doesn't have what it takes at this high level, you know? And I want to see that. I want to know where he's at.
Yeah, he was so great, and it's hard to be the best when you're sleeping in satin sheets sort of scenario. So, you know, he has a desire to be a fighter, but is it strong enough to make him make all the sacrifices that you need to make to be a world champion? He's definitely going to get tested in there for sure. So excited. Hopefully that one happens. That one's the most likely for sure. Probably not on your list. Erin Blanchfield versus Alexa Grasso. I know that they're talking about giving Valentina another rematch. I know that's in the works, but let's just throw that out, or say Alexa wins the rematch or whatever. I would like to see Erin get her shot. So really, whoever the flyweight champion is, I want to see Erin Blanchfield fight them for the belt. I think she's ready.
Yeah, great fight. If it happens, it's realistic at some point. Grasso looks so good, too, when she won that championship. So, I mean, that's arguably right now. And again, we don't know. We'll see if Valentina gets a rematch. Valentina's a great champion, great athlete, so she can make adjustments. But right now, I would say not count Valentina. These are obviously the two best in the world at that division.
Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. I don't think John Jones is interested in that. He seems to only be interested in the Stipe fight. And then if they can get a Francis to happen somehow, that's looking less and less likely every day that he's going to come back, seeing as how he, you know, has equity in PFL and all that. I don't see him coming to the UFC and fighting again now. I think Aspinall is good enough everywhere to test John Jones. He's explosive and he's confident. That's one I want to see. I think he could test John for sure.
Did you see the thing that came out today? I don't know if you did, where the PFL owner basically responded to Dana White. Dana White also in the extended clip says he wasn't, you know, he's not talking smack about the PFL. He says, I'll be happy to talk smack about people I don't like. I've done it before. Oscar De La Hoya, whoever owned Bellator before Scott Coker. I remember he did that with him too. He said they've always been respectful, nothing. But he says I don't understand the business model of what they're doing here, and taking a lot of money out. And the guy from PFL put out a little thing in 2018. Blockbuster CEO had put out, Netflix is not our competition. They're not even on our radar. And then he put down 2023 with Dana White. So I thought it was a funny quote, but I mean, to Dana's point, like these guys are spending a lot of money for a company that doesn't have, a thriving pay-per-view business. They're not selling, they're not getting major ticket sales and not pulling in huge TV ratings. So you do wonder where this is eventually going. I mean, I want PFL to do well. So let's just put that out there. But
I do think MMA is coming to a crossroads with the fighter pay issue. We didn't really talk about it, but everyone knows the UFC made record-breaking profits last year, and the profit sharing of the athletes went down, which all people did all year was complain about fighter pay, and then they got paid less. So if PFL can put out a reasonably comparable product to the UFC, people will not watch UFC. I just feel like they're, if they can feel ethically better about watching PFL and get the same experience, they would rather watch that. I mean, I would, but the best of the best are in the UFC still right now. So
it's a long way. You got a long way. Someone's got to invest a lot of money in this PFL and keep it going for a while. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's tough to build against, the UFC when they can just buy all the talent. But you're seeing some guys are signing over to one championship or PFL or whatever that the UFC is going after, and they're not getting these guys. So we'll see.
By the way, I saw something, and we're getting way off track here. We'll get back on your list. But Eddie Alvarez was on. They had a little thing on. It was on YouTube. I think it's on ESPN Plus too, where it was the before the Ultimate Fighter. And they had different people talking on there, Michael Chandler, and a few other people. But Eddie Alvarez was one of the people they had on there, too. And Anik even said, congratulations on your recent bare knuckle championship win. And Eddie Alvarez, Underground King, always a pleasure to have. So they didn't run away from stuff that he's doing necessarily. And I thought that was kind of refreshing. And, we're giving, praise to something else. We're having another guy on here, basically in a somewhat competing promotion, and talking about his experiences and what he could add. Now, granted, it's a YouTube show. I don't know how many people even watch this thing, but I thought it was interesting. So maybe the UFC also was thinking, maybe we better start having some goodwill with some of these people too.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. It wouldn't be the worst idea, soften the stance a little bit. I want to see Khamzat versus Robert Whittaker at middleweight. I know that Whittaker's going to be fighting Duplessis, but I'm going to assume he beats him. I don't think, either Izzy or maybe Khamzat are the only people I think that could beat Robert Whittaker. So I want to see Khamzat versus Whittaker. Hopefully this year. My last one is I kind of picked with my heart. Not really a fair fight. Probably don't really deserve it, but I want to see the winner of Justin Gaethje and Poirier fight Makhachev for the title.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's a good fight. I mean, I do too. It's probably more of a heart pick too. Poirier even recently said that you got to give it to Dariush if he wins, right? It seems fair. But even he said afterwards, but of course it's the fight business, not the fair business. So we'll just see what happens.
If he goes out there and starches Gaethje, he's getting a title shot.
I definitely would. I say it's definitely a possibility.